Welcome to part 2 of the Teacher Portal tutorial. In this video, I'll show you how to navigate the Gradebook tab to understand your students' progress and grades, and I'll also introduce you to a couple other tabs. To start, let's go to the Gradebook tab. All of these settings here will be set up by default for you. So to see your student or students, simply click the search button. This will display all students and all of their courses assigned to you. In this view, you can see all the subjects assigned to a student. Notice that you're given some basic information here. You're given the name of the course, the start and end date that were assigned, the course percentage complete, and you have the current score. Keep in mind that the start date is not always reliable if the course schedule has been adjusted. To open up a course, click on the plus sign to the left of the course. As you can see, this shows you all of the units within this course. Here you can see the title of each unit, whether or not the unit is skipped, when the assignments in that unit were started, when the unit was completed, the progress in the unit, and the current score for the unit. All units that are marked skipped, like this, will not show up for the student. This is usually done if a student does not need a portion of the course. Opening up a unit will give you information on each assignment within that unit. Here you can see the type of assignments to easily differentiate quizzes from lessons and other types of assignments. The R here indicates assignments for reference or review. These are usually not required, but they are helpful. The L stands for lesson. The Q stands for quiz. The P down here stands for project. The T stands for test. And the AT stands for an alternate test. These are tests with the same material, but different problems to allow students to improve their grade. In some units, you'll also see some alternate quizzes. As always, you can see the name of the assignment. The third column will show you the status of the assignment. The status will either be assigned, not started, skipped, or graded. And these will be set up for you by default, but you can adjust them as needed. As you can see by clicking here, you can choose any one of these options. By marking an assignment assigned, it will give the student access to that assignment, even if the previous assignments are incomplete. The system will automatically assign the next assignment after any given assignment is completed. If you mark an assignment skipped, the student will not need to do it, and the grade will not count toward the total score. It'll look just like this one here. Marking the assignment graded will prompt you to enter a manual score for the assignment. Okay, that one's already graded, so we need to pick one that has not been graded yet. So as you can see, it'll ask you to put in a score, just like that. Keep in mind, if you need to unlock a quiz or test for a student manually by changing the status to assigned, the student may have already seen the answers before redoing it. The block feature in this column here will allow you to keep the student from continuing on until a certain assignment is done. For example, if a student is not completing a project but continuing on with assignments, you can select the block on that project, like so, and the student will not be able to do any other assignments until that project is completed. So they will not be able to continue forward past this assignment. The due column here will show you when the assignments should be completed according to the schedule that's assigned. The started column will show you the date the assignments were opened, and the completed column shows you when the assignment was submitted. So if a student has begun an assignment but has not yet submitted it, even if they're almost done, there will not be a completed date here. Now these dates are very useful to look at when trying to understand if your student is on track. If you notice that the completed date is later than the due date, you can easily know that the assignment was turned in late. If you see that an assignment is due in the past and has no completed date yet, you can easily know that the student is behind. By counting up all of the assignments with a past due date, you can understand about how far behind your student is in any given class. The attempts column here We'll show you how many times the student attempted an assignment. And this is really useful to see if a student should be allowed to have another try. You can also click on the number of attempts, and that'll give you some more details on each attempt. Here you can see the exact time that the assignment was opened and the exact time that it was turned in, including the date and even the time. Pay attention to the time zone here because it may be different than yours. This will also tell you exactly how long the student spent with the assignment actually open, how much of that time between when it was opened and when it was submitted the student was actually on task working on the assignment, or at least having it open. If the time on task is very short and the grades are low, this can be a good indicator that the student may not be thinking through the questions long enough. The last thing I'd like to show you here is this special project. You'll notice that it's skipped by default. These special projects can be utilized to assign something extra for the student as either extra credit or just an additional project you'd like them to do. You can have this be a book report, an experiment, a field trip report, or whatever you'd like. By clicking Assigned on it, just like we showed previously, the student will be prompted to do this assignment along with the rest of the work. Now from this unit's view, this is a great way to access any individual assignment if you want to review what the student did correctly, what they missed, or if you just want to take a look at the assignment itself. This is a great way to jump to it just by clicking on it. Now let's go back to the home page. The last tab I want to go over briefly is the Students tab. This tab will show you if the student is online or not. You can change the student's password. You can see their username and view and adjust some settings as well. In this column, marked online, if the person here is filled in with a color, then that means the student is currently logged in. If you click on the person when they're filled in, the student will be logged out. Seeing the username here in this column will help you diagnose any login information issues to make sure the username is being spelled correctly and everything is being capitalized correctly. And by clicking the Edit button here under Controls, you can see all system settings and adjust some individual settings. Notice in here under the Password section, if you click on the Change button, you can set a new password for the student. That concludes the second part of the Teacher Portal tutorial. In the next video, we'll take a look at the reporting features in Ignitia.